Have you ever felt the urge to share your next big idea, the moment it lights up in your mind? Maybe it's a new project, a fitness goal, a career move, or a dream you've been nurturing in silence. You tell a friend. Post it online. Announce it to the world. And for a moment, it feels good. Like you've already taken a step forward. Like you've already won. But days pass. Weeks even. And the fire fades. The work doesn't get done. The vision gets blurry, and suddenly, the thing you were so excited about becomes just another plan that never came to life. What happened? Modern psychology calls it social reality. When you share a goal too soon, your brain gets a reward it didn't earn, dopamine. You feel accomplished, without accomplishing anything. But the Stoics knew this thousands of years ago. They warned us. Don't speak your plans. Live them. Marcus Aurelius once said, "Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Be one." This video isn't about staying silent because you're afraid. It's about staying silent because you are focused. Because your energy is too valuable to waste on applause, opinions, or empty praise. In a world obsessed with broadcasting every move, we're going to explore why the most powerful step you can take is the one you don't announce. Let's dive into the lost art of strategic silence. And how mastering it can sharpen your mind, protect your goals, and help you live with the quiet strength the Stoics embodied every single day. Section 1. The psychological power of privacy. Have you ever noticed how good it feels to tell someone about your goals? Maybe you told a friend, "I'm going to start working out every morning," or "I've decided to write a book." And in that moment, when you share it, you feel proud, energized, even accomplished. But here's the strange part, nothing has actually happened yet. You haven't gone to the gym. You haven't written a single chapter. And yet, your brain rewards you. It gives you a hit of dopamine, the same chemical that's released when we achieve real success. It feels like progress. But it's not. It's just the illusion of it. This is what modern psychology has discovered. When we talk about our intentions, especially in public or online, we start to feel like we've already made progress, even though we've only spoken words. The Stoics understood this thousands of years ago, even if they didn't use words like dopamine. They noticed that talking too much about your goals can actually make you less likely to follow through. Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor and Stoic philosopher, put it simply. Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Be one. In other words, don't just talk about the life you want to live. Start living it. Quietly. Steadily. Let me give you an example that many of us can relate to. Imagine two people. Both have the same dream, to write a book. The first person is excited and tells everyone. They post about it online. Friends cheer them on, saying, "That's amazing," or "I can't wait to read it." This person feels inspired, at first. But soon, the compliments fade, and now there's pressure. People begin asking, "How's the book coming along?" And suddenly, the project feels heavy. It's no longer just a personal dream, it's a public performance. And that pressure can slowly drain their motivation. Now picture the second person. They also want to write a book. But instead of announcing it, they keep it quiet. They wake up early, write each day, and tell no one. No likes. No comments. No questions. Just focus and flow. They protect their energy. They own their process. And over time, they actually finish the book, on their own terms. This is the power of privacy. It shields your energy. It keeps your motivation pure. When you speak less, you build more. When you protect your intentions, you fuel your execution. The Stoics weren't being secretive out of fear, they were being strategic. They understood that silence is not weakness. It's discipline. its strength, its power in its quietest form. Section 2. Focus and energy conservation. When we talk about conserving energy, most people think about getting enough rest or not overexerting themselves physically. But there's another kind of energy that's just as important, maybe even more so. It's your mental energy. Your emotional energy. The kind that fuels your focus, your discipline, and your creativity. Every time you talk about your goals, especially before they've taken shape, you're spending that energy. A little bit here, a little bit there. A conversation at work, a social media post, a long discussion with a friend. Before you know it, your goal, which started as something sacred and personal, is now scattered into the opinions and reactions of others. The Stoic philosopher Seneca gave us a powerful reminder. Associate with people who are likely to improve you. Welcome those whom you are capable of improving. What was he really saying? Choose your interactions wisely. Not every conversation is worth your time. Not every opinion deserves space in your mind. If you're constantly explaining your plans or defending your ideas, you're getting pulled away from your focus. You're letting your energy leak out in all directions instead of directing it where it matters most, into action. Let's break this down. Imagine your energy is like the flame of a candle. Every time you talk about your goals prematurely, it's like opening a window. The wind may be praise. It may be criticism. It may be doubt. But either way, it flickers your flame. If you open too many windows, eventually that flame can go out. Keeping your plans to yourself isn't about being secretive. It's about protecting that flame. It's about building momentum in silence so that when you finally act, you do so with strength, not scattered energy. Now, here's something simple you can try. Instead of talking about what you're going to do, write it down. Keep a private journal. Set goals for yourself, but keep them between you and your conscience, at least until they've become reality. This is called practicing silent intention. It's a small habit with big impact. When your mind isn't busy thinking about how others will react to your plans, you gain clarity. You stay aligned with your purpose. You conserve your most valuable resource, your inner power. So next time you feel the urge to share what you're working on, pause. Ask yourself, do I need to say this, or do I just need to stay focused? Because the less you speak of your intentions, the more room you give them to grow. Section 3. The dangers of external validation. One of the biggest traps in life, and one that the Stoics warned us about, is seeking validation from other people. You see, it often starts innocently. You share your plans, your goals, maybe even your dreams. And when people respond with admiration, encouragement, or applause, it feels good. You feel seen. You feel supported. But here's the danger. That approval can become addictive. Slowly, without realizing it, you start to crave it. You begin measuring your worth not by how much progress you've made, but by how much praise you receive. And before long, your motivation shifts from inner purpose to outer recognition. This is exactly what the Stoics wanted us to avoid. They believed that true peace comes not from applause or attention, but from within, from self-respect, from discipline, from knowing that you are living in alignment with your values. Epictetus, one of the great Stoic teachers, said something profound. If you want to improve, be content to be thought foolish and stupid. Think about that for a moment. He's telling us that growth often happens quietly. And during that time, other people may not understand you. They may even think you're wasting your time. That's okay. You don't need their approval. In fact, if you really want to grow, you have to be willing to look unimpressive in the short term. Because improvement is personal. It's not a show. And when you do it right, most of the time, nobody even notices, until the results speak for themselves. Let me give you an example. Imagine someone decides to quit drinking and improve their health. Instead of announcing it to everyone, they quietly change their habits. They start working out, eating better, and spending more time in nature. At first, no one notices. Maybe some friends even tease them for skipping out on social events. But months later, people begin to see the change. Their face looks brighter. Their energy is stronger. Their focus has sharpened. Now, everyone wants to know, what's your secret? But by then, it's no longer about being admired. It's about having built something real, something stable, without needing to be cheered on every step of the way. That's the freedom Stoicism offers. When we stop chasing validation from others, we reclaim our power. We stop performing. We start living. We stop asking, do they approve, and we start asking, am I proud of myself? That shift, from external to internal, changes everything. So if you're working on something important, if you're trying to grow, evolve, or improve your life, resist the urge to broadcast it. Don't build your progress on the shaky foundation of public opinion. Build it on silence, consistency, and self-respect. Because the Stoic doesn't seek to impress the world. They seek to master themselves. Section 4. The shield of discretion in a noisy world. Let's be honest, today's world is loud. We live in a culture that constantly urges us to share everything. Post your plans. Announce your progress. Show the world what you're working on, every step of the way. Social media has turned privacy into a rarity. We feel pressure to broadcast our goals, our dreams, our next moves, sometimes before they're even real. But the Stoic would pause here and ask a simple question. Is all this noise helping you, or hurting you? Stoic wisdom teaches us that there is immense strength in staying quiet. There is power in keeping your process private until the work is done. And no, this isn't about fear or hiding. It's about wisdom. It's about choosing silence not because you're afraid someone will steal your idea, but because you understand how sacred your energy is, and how easily it can be disrupted. You see, when you keep your plans to yourself, you protect them. You build a shield around your vision, keeping it safe from outside interference. Because here's the truth. The more people know about your intentions, the more opinions you'll receive. Some will support you. Some won't. Some may feel jealous. Others may criticize or try to outdo you. And whether it's praise, envy, or doubt, every comment chips away at your clarity and focus. By staying quiet, you reduce noise. You stay grounded. You conserve your emotional and mental energy for what actually matters, the work. Let me give you an analogy that brings this to life. Think of a master chess player. When they sit down at the board, their mind is full of strategy. They see the opening. They anticipate the counter-move. But do they announce their plan to the opponent? Of course not. Every move is revealed only when the time is right. Not before. Not through words, but through action. You must live your life like that chess master. Quiet. Strategic. Focused. Let your results do the talking. Let your actions reveal the depth of your intention, not your announcements. Discretion, in this sense, isn't about secrecy born from paranoia. It's about self-respect. It's about protecting your peace in a world that thrives on distraction. So the next time you feel the urge to share what you're planning, pause. Ask yourself, is this for clarity, or just for attention? Because in a noisy world, the quiet ones move with power. And often, they're the ones who win the long game. Section 5. Training the mind in restraint. Let's be honest, when you're excited about something, it's natural to want to share it. Maybe you've just started a new business idea, a fitness goal, or a creative project. You feel inspired, motivated, hopeful. And the first instinct is to tell someone, maybe everyone. But here's the challenge. Can you hold that excitement inside and channel it into real progress, without needing others to know about it? That's what the Stoics trained themselves to do. They believed that the mind, just like the body, needs discipline and restraint. They didn't just let their emotions run wild. They practiced self-control, even over things that felt good, like praise or attention. Take Marcus Aurelius, for example. He was one of the most powerful men in the world, an emperor. Yet, he didn't write speeches to impress others. He didn't post about his plans or seek admiration for his ideas. Instead, he kept a private journal. He wrote only for himself. His thoughts, which we now know as meditations, were personal reminders to stay calm, stay focused, and stay humble. One of his most famous lines was, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts." What does that mean in this context? It means that your inner world, your thoughts, your mindset, your self-control, is where true peace comes from. Not from telling others what you'll do. Not from getting likes or comments. But from knowing that you're quietly, steadily doing the work. Now, let's bring this idea down to a practical level. Next time you feel that urge to share your next big step, pause. Take a breath. Sit with that feeling. Ask yourself, why do I want to share this? Is it because it helps me stay accountable, or because I want someone to tell me I'm doing great? There's nothing wrong with excitement. But excitement should fuel action, not announcement. So here's a simple practice you can try. Instead of telling others your goals, write them down, just for yourself. Treat your journal like your private training ground. This is where you shape your thoughts, refine your purpose, and build quiet strength. The longer you hold your intention in silence, the more powerful it becomes. Because that energy you're saving from speaking, it doesn't disappear. It gets redirected into action. Into results. And those results, when they come, speak louder than any promise ever could. Remember, the Stoic doesn't just control what they do. They control what they say. And often, they choose to say nothing at all, until the work is done. Section 6. Historical and modern examples of strategic silence. Sometimes, the most powerful move you can make, is saying nothing at all. Throughout history, some of the greatest leaders, inventors, and visionaries didn't talk about what they were going to do. They just did it. Let's start with Julius Caesar. In 49 BCE, Caesar made a bold and irreversible decision. He crossed the Rubicon River with his army, which was an act of war against the Roman Senate. But here's what's fascinating. He didn't announce it. He didn't warn anyone or give speeches about what was coming. He acted in silence, and because of that, he caught his enemies completely off guard. His quiet confidence and strategic restraint gave him the upper hand. Now think about Leonardo da Vinci. We all know him as a brilliant artist and inventor. But what's often overlooked is how private he was about his work. Leonardo didn't run around telling people about his next masterpiece or invention. He worked behind the scenes, often writing in notebooks using mirrored handwriting, so others couldn't easily read his thoughts. His secrecy wasn't about being mysterious. It was about protecting his creative space. He knew that great work needs time, space, and silence to grow. Fast forward to the modern world, and we see the same pattern. Take Steve Jobs, the co-founder of Apple. Jobs was a master of restraint when it came to innovation. He and his team would work for months, even years, on groundbreaking products like the iPhone, the iPad, or the Mac. But no one outside Apple knew what was coming. Why? Because Jobs understood the power of surprise and focus. If you reveal your plans too early, you invite pressure, distraction, and competition. But if you stay silent, you stay in control. You protect the energy of your vision. And when the product is finally revealed, on your terms, it makes an unforgettable impact. All these examples, Caesar, Da Vinci, Jobs, They may come from different centuries and different fields, but they all practice the same Stoic principle. Let your results speak louder than your words. This is what the Stoics knew long ago. That action, quiet, focused, intentional action, is more powerful than any declaration or promise. So when you're working on something that matters to you, don't be afraid to hold it close. You're not hiding it out of fear. You're nurturing it. You're protecting it from noise, doubt, and unnecessary input. Just like Caesar with his strategy. Just like Da Vinci with his inventions. Just like Jobs with his innovations. Your silence is a strategy. Use it wisely. Section 7. How to apply this principle in daily life. So, let's bring this all down to earth. You've heard the philosophy. You've heard the stories. Now the question becomes, how do you actually live this out? How do you practice the Stoic art of keeping your plans private, in a world that constantly pressures you to share everything? Here are 5 simple, but powerful ways to begin. 1. Write it down, don't speak it out. When you get a new idea or set a goal, your first instinct might be to talk about it. But instead of calling someone or posting it online, write it in a journal. This becomes your private space to organize your thoughts, track your progress, and stay focused. When you write it down for yourself, not for others, you stay grounded. You stay in control. 2. If you must share, choose one trusted person. Sometimes we need support. That's human. But don't share your plans with a crowd. Pick one trusted confidant, someone who genuinely understands you and has your best interests at heart. Not someone who'll judge, gossip, or distract you. This keeps your energy safe and your focus sharp. 3. Act in silence. Plan with motion, not noise. Instead of saying, "I'm going to start working out," just start working out. Instead of saying, "I'm building a business," work on your business, quietly and consistently. One step at a time. Let your actions reveal the plan, not your words. 4. Don't broadcast your progress unless there's a real reason. We live in a world where people constantly post updates. Day 3 of my new challenge. Big moves coming soon. Watch this space. But ask yourself, what does that really do? Most of the time, it just creates pressure. Or worse, it distracts you from the actual work. Keep your progress private unless there's a genuine need to share. Let your results speak for themselves. 5. Reflect before you speak. Ask yourself one question. Am I sharing this because I need support, or because I want validation? This is a powerful filter. Sometimes, we share just to hear others say, "Wow, that's impressive." But the Stoic path isn't about impressing others, it's about improving yourself. So take a moment. Pause. And ask. Is this plan for me, or am I performing it for someone else? These practices may seem small, but they create a powerful shift in your life. They help you protect your energy, maintain your momentum, and stay true to your path. The Stoics didn't just teach philosophy, they lived it. And by applying this principle of strategic silence, you begin to live it too. Quietly. Intentionally. Powerfully. Section 8. Self-awareness and emotional mastery. Choosing not to talk about your plans isn't just a matter of strategy. It's a deep exercise in emotional strength and self-awareness. It's about asking yourself, can I hold on to my dreams quietly, without needing someone else to validate them? The Stoics believed in emotional mastery. But let's be clear, this doesn't mean pretending you don't have emotions. It doesn't mean bottling everything up or becoming cold. It means understanding your emotions, so they don't control you. When you feel that strong urge to announce your goals, maybe on social media, or to friends and family, pause for a moment. Take a breath. And gently ask yourself, why do I want to share this right now? Is it because you're truly ready to act? Is it because you've made real progress and you need accountability? Or is it because you want to hear someone say, "Wow, that's amazing. Good for you. You're so ambitious." There's nothing wrong with encouragement. We all enjoy being recognized. But when we depend on praise, we lose a bit of our freedom. And for the Stoics, freedom is everything. Listen to the words of Seneca, one of the great Stoic philosophers. "He who is brave is free." Think about that. Bravery isn't always about facing danger or hardship. Sometimes, it's about quietly staying true to your vision. Even when no one sees it. Even when no one claps for you. Even when you feel alone on your path. That kind of bravery gives you freedom. Freedom from needing others to approve of you. Freedom from chasing applause. Freedom from being swayed by every opinion around you. That's emotional mastery. It's the ability to say, "I believe in this enough to build it in silence." And that belief, that inner steadiness, that's what turns dreams into reality. So the next time you feel tempted to speak too soon, to share before you've even started, remember, silence is not weakness. It's power under control. It's a quiet confidence that says, "I don't need to talk about it, because I'm already working on it." And that's a power the Stoics carried with them every day. Section 9. Final reflections and closing thoughts. As we come to the end of this journey together, let's take a moment to reflect on what we've uncovered. The Stoic philosophers, men like Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, and Epictetus, lived in a world of noise, ambition, and distraction, just like we do today. But they understood something that many of us are only now beginning to rediscover. Silence is not weakness. Silence is strength. It's not the absence of ambition, but the presence of focus. It's not about hiding, it's about building in peace, away from noise, judgment, or empty applause. When you keep your plans to yourself, you do more than protect your ideas. You protect your energy. You protect your motivation. You avoid the emotional roller coaster of praise and criticism, and you stay rooted in what really matters, the work itself. The Stoics didn't just talk about values, they lived them. They practiced what they believed, quietly and consistently. They knew that real progress doesn't need to be broadcast. It just needs to be made, step by step, with patience and integrity. Listen again to the words of Epictetus. Do not explain your philosophy. Embody it. And that, truly, is the heart of this lesson. Let your actions tell your story. Let your growth speak for itself, not in words, but in your calmness, your discipline, your results. If your vision is real, you don't need to convince anyone. Time will prove it. Work will reveal it. And silence? That will be your greatest ally. So, as you move forward from here, ask yourself, what can I build quietly today? Where can I trade noise for focus? Who am I becoming when no one is watching? Because that's where real transformation begins, not in what you say, but in what you do. Thank you for spending this time reflecting with us. If this message resonated with you, if you find strength in Stoic wisdom, and if you want to continue growing into the calm, focused, and powerful version of yourself, then consider subscribing to our channel. We explore Stoic teachings, timeless lessons, and practical tools to help you live with clarity and purpose, every single week. Stay grounded. Stay intentional. And remember, let silence be your ally. Let action be your voice. Until next time, keep building quietly.